country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land of people who can understand that that's business brighter out of darkness. Like all other places, we have problems, but when they come, we help to solve them, internally or otherwise, whichever way we think is wise. Oh, sweet spice land.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. We're back again with our program On Target. As soon as we start this program, you have the opportunity to pick up the telephone and speak and ask questions and make your contribution. We are Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We are also on We Noise FM 94.9. And yes, we are on YouTube and Facebook, and you could put us anywhere you want. And we encourage you to like the program, share the program, and subscribe to Real FM. If you don't know how to subscribe, ask the younger ones. They're good on the phone. Some of us pay for the phone, but we can't man over the phone. So we ask the younger ones. There must be some relationship between the young and the old. There are some people who are constantly attacking the elderly, disrespecting them, mauling them. Even Randall Robinson, I was disappointed in him. I always have great respect for that individual and thought he was more objective. But maybe Randall Robinson get radicalized. So you can give us a call. The number again to call is 442-0175. I speak because I believe we must have discussion on issues. This present government is undertaking building a new hospital building. There must be a clear line what they are doing. They're building a new building for a hospital. In my estimation, that will take about 10 years. And it will cost initially for building that structure and retrofitting it $500 million. I want to say that again. That new hospital, to build it and retrofit it, will cost about $500 million, $500 million, and it will take about 10 years. I want us to discuss this issue. I advance the view that there is absolutely no need for a new structure in Grenada. None. I listen to the NNP and they're petting the subject matter. And I guess that is politics. They don't want to say there is absolutely no need for a building. None. The objective for building a hospital is suspect. They're building a teaching hospital. That is suspect. The present environment in which they intend to undertake that is also unconducive. The Caribbean could well be blessed with 25% tariff on all transactions. They expect the doctors in the hospital to go and work in America. Are you going to use Grenadians as guinea pigs? We don't have the population. We're not Venezuela. We don't have the population. We're not Jamaica for doctors to practice extensively. The St. George's University, the main market for the medical doctors is United States of America. And those doctors go to American hospitals to do the interns. And they will always prefer to do the interns in these hospitals because they're more likely to keep them one time. I am disappointed in the trade union leaders, particularly TUC, under the man with the red cap. We have to be proactive. The TUC have to understand, anytime this economy in trouble, the people most likely to be affected are the workers of the country. And the only source of income, or the main source of income for trade union, is union dues. The unions have abandoned the elderly, and that is dumb. It is economically unwise, because you could have past members of the union paying their dues all their life. Why they pay? Why they pay? They are paying for association and camaraderie. They spend 40 years in the union. Some of them, they're lonely. When they go back home, there is nobody. And as such, the unions provide a social environment for them to function, and they don't mind paying for it. But over the years, great hostility has been emanating from a very dynamic group about the elderly. They attack the elderly left, right, and center. And the young union leaders seems not to want the elderly around them. We have to remember, Grenada is a place that has the most home for the aged. And some of the social scientists are asking why. Some people say it's either the question of economics, the elderly people don't have money, or gross disrespect. Well, it's not a question of money, because Grenada have the most landowners in the region. And if they have the most landowners, most likely a lot of the elderly people have a little thing. They save for Siankatuka. So it is a question of disrespect. With this, we don't have much respect for the elderly in our country. And the NDC, because of the policy, it serves as a catalyst to arouse the anger of our people against the elderly. The government intends to build a new hospital. There is absolutely no need for a new hospital in Grenada in the next 10 years. No need. Our population have not risen in the last 100 years. Our population have not risen in any significant way. Why we need a new hospital? We could expand the Princess Alice Hospital. We could make the polytechnic or the surgery or the medical station you have in St. Patrick's, make it into a good, active, dynamic polytechnic. The one in Grove, do the same with it. And the one in St. David's. It would cost us less than 50 million to do that. We provide medical doctors, because what we need is medical service. A building doesn't provide service. If we expand Maribor, we can add. Maribor have space. Princess Alice Hospital have space. If you want 200 square feet or 500 square feet additional space in Princess Alice Hospital, we could do it. 10,000, because we could go up. There is no need for a new hospital. None. This government is going to put an albatross around our necks, a milestone around our necks. And we will be guilty, because Grenadians are there and they're watching a recklessly incompetent government. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, I really
Yes,
want to
scholar.
agree with you 100% of the statement you're making in terms of the
A
hospital.
recklessly,
Big,
color you know,
big,
a
yes, I do.
recklessly incompetent government spend over
Exactly.
$500 million
Because listen, this,
to build
Mr.
a
Pierre,
building.
we have the we have the Guelph
Lost him?
Polyclinic
Yeah.
with good
Column,
new brand new
you there but you're not
you there?
speaking. I will not hear you. Or are you not connected? Whatever.
Maybe you're not connected
Yes, I'm
because I'm hearing
connected.
you loud and clear. Are you
So
hearing
you're
me now?
there and you're not speaking. So let me try again. Call back. So there is no need for a new hospital. So I challenge NDC members. Justify. Justify a new hospital. The government is arrogant. The government is disrespectful. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Are you hearing me now, Mr. Pierre? Hello? You have to do some connection
Uh,
somewhere.
okay, thank you, brother. I'm hearing you now. So it was my fault. I'm hearing you.
You, you hear me now?
We are loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Right. I want to say I must agree with you 100% on the statement you make. It's not about a new building. It's not just a building. For example, we have a brand new polyclinic at Guelph with brand new equipment to facilitate the health practitioners, the nurses, the doctors to assist the patients. What they do with that equipment, it gone missing. And then the same administration was going to speak about a brand new hospital. A brand new hospital will not solve the health problem. If you go in Cuba, I understand, I've never been there, but I understand that the building may be lapidated, but when you go inside the building, they have every facility in it for the people for Cuba. So it's not about brand new building, but it's about the facilities, the service, the medical supplies in which you're supposed to provide for the people. Yeah. And if you can provide that now, when will you provide it? It's like people have to afraid to get sick to go to the hospital. Because the minute time you go in the hospital, you have to sign your death sentence because you're not guaranteed coming back out. So we are calling on this administration, and I'm calling on even the unions, every union, because it will be their workers that will be affected as well. To put the pressure on this administration to, to facilitate the health facilities with medical supplies. That is what we need. We need the medical supplies. And doctors and nurses are going frustrated because it don't have the supplies. What will these people do? We understanding that patients are sent home because it don't have the medical supply. What is going
Yes, caller, thank you. Seems as though we're off again. Thank you, caller. You see, what we need to have is a discussion among ourselves. This is a master issue. If a government is going to spend over $500 million between now and the next 10 years to put up a new building and retrofit it, and I'm being very conservative, When I say 500 million, I'm being very conservative. We must have discussion on it. This government decide information is based upon need to know. Don't expect medical doctors to say nothing. When the health service, I do not believe the health service in Grenada. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, caller, welcome.
How you doing, Mr. Pierre?
Great man, good man.
You know, we talk about the hospital, but what about the new pension scheme we have on the scheme? You fall under the old pension, right? So you're getting your money until you're dead, right? Am I correct?
I'm on the departure lounge, color.
Yeah.
Not somebody in the arrival. I'm in the departure lounge, and I'm in Tongue Long.
Yeah, in Tongue Long, yes, good. But we have a new pension scheme on right now. And it seems like the union and even the opposition and even the government is trying, to me, they're not enlightening the people that follow under that.
The government deceive the workers of the country. Dayton Mitchell deceived the workers of the country. He lied for them, and he deceived them, and he made what he call a pension system that's going to bust. And of course, Dayton is aware the pension scheme is going to bust. He excluded the judiciary from it. They're benefiting, but they don't have to pay. Dayton is recklessly incompetent, and he's a glad boy.
because when you look at it, right, they say the worker is going to pay 3%, and the government is going to pay 3%, which is going to equal to 6%. Let's say a worker is working for $3,000 a month. 6% for a month could be about $180.
Color, the best example to use is when NIS started in 1983. The amount they started was 9%. In 1983. And now we are 13%. And it's likely to go to 20% in the next 10 years. And Dayton starting this program we have with 6%. This thing is going to bust. Dayton is going to bust.
But who is going to explain that to the people? Because people think that they're getting a pension.
Well,
remember, after you retire, the money that you're drawing on from is under the system.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The people will be punished for the ignorance.
Yeah, they will be broke after about 5 years.
The sad thing is that we are putting our children in trouble.
Yeah,
and those who now say they are masters in economics and management and trade union and strong supporters of the NDC, they are not saying anything.
So why do you think you're not saying anything at all? Because this thing is what you call going to be chaos for workers.
I tell people that NDC is not a big group, and Dayton seems to naturally attracted to bribing people. He used the word for good relationship. So when he paid the teachers money that the court say he was not legal, he did not have the legal, it was not legal that he paid them, he called it for good relationship. He raised the salary of his ministers by 300%. In MIT, you hear corruption galore. And a lot of his militant supporters are getting contract. So the people who are speaking and advocating, Dayton want to make sure that he satisfies their personal needs.
Yeah, but in the long run.
Well, you don't care about long run. Well, when they were selling black people in Africa, they didn't care about the long run. It's the short term and the medium term, not the long term. Did you know that this new structure that we want to build want to bankrupt our country? Our country might end up like Haiti, bankrupt. And we will have nobody to blame. The International Monetary Fund came to Grenada on 3 occasions to help us manage our discipline. And now we're on a spending spree.
Well, I don't know, but somebody need to highlight that.
But that's what I'm doing, Color. Color, that's what I'm doing. I'm highlighting it. And I'm daring them, I'm challenging them to take me on. Justify it. I look some of them. Justify. Bring in export and justify it to the people. Why you intend to spend over $500 billion when you have no project to grow the economy? But by the time they spend that, they would end up with millions. When you watch their attitude, kickbacks, they personally, with a few of them, will end up with millions of dollars. And they would leave this country bankrupt.
True.
Yes, scholar, thank you.
All right.
We cannot say we don't know. That is what education is about. When you have education, you're in a better position to discuss issues. Eric Gary built 28 schools in 13 and a half years. A lot of people were not able to go to secondary schools. A lot of people was not able to further their education in tertiary education. But we are not generally dumb. A lot of people are not smart where the computer is concerned. Like me, I'm not wise and smart where the computer is concerned. I'm practically playing catch-up game. But we're not dumb. We understand how to run our homes. And we see the individuals who work hard, but invest their money and use the money wisely are better off. We recognize the people, the parents who are very disciplined with their children, and then let them go like a maniku. These children grow up in society, and they're better off. They have an education, they have a better job, they have a house. Some of them abandon the parents, yes, but they're in a better financial and academic position. We see the parents who ignore the children, abandon the children to the women, say some of the children not theirs, and ignore the children, and the woman had to get 9 months for 6 children. We see the result. We see what Deacon is doing. The best program that have ever been instituted in Grenada to give people a second chance, young people a second chance, is the Imani program. The NDC declaration. And every time I watch them in the eyes, I ask my brothers in the NDC, what is the substitute? If you decide to destroy the Imani program, you must come up with a better program. Well, they don't change the name yet because they changed the name the last time after they look into the eyes of these people and say, we love you as we own children. They like them. And then they fire them. This time, they shame to change the name. So they declare the program. The best program. Now you have the NDC chicken grenadian again. They're building a new hospital and a new prison. We're supposed to be discussing how do we reduce crime. And I dare them again. All the prisons in the Caribbean, all are overpopulated. So if they build it for 300, you have 700 in it. And there is a direct relationship. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
And how are you?
Good to hear your voice back, man.
Good to hear you too, man.
Yeah, my brother.
Listen, check where he comes from. That is why he gets it afraid of. Where he comes from. Because who adopt him? That is what he gets it so far. A lot of people, they don't know him. Study him. Just how you study him, tell them to study him. He gets it and so because he wants to bring people under him. I'm talking about the hospital. That's a waste of time, yeah? Waste of precious time. You build a hospital. They can't afford to maintain what they have. And they skip 2025 and want to put it in 2026. By 2037, 38 is when it will finish. By that time, I would not be around.
I thought you was looking for her. I want to celebrate my 100 years and I say I'm going to invite you to my 100-year party. You could be around.
That is Ian, what do you call him? Dan Duque.
Dan the sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Sugar daddy. Gallivanting around the country with a rich man. The man that sell him as a businessman, you know.
No.
As a rich man.
Well, that is how NDP sell him. So he's selling his partner.
Same way. That is a sugar daddy you have. If you're going around with a rich man, is a sugar daddy. The man had to sell him as a businessman and let him have discussion with the business sector, the commodity boards, even children in secondary school are doing economics and POB and YOB and etc.
I'm talking stupidness and about farmers and what they go do in agriculture and they shut down marketing board and now they ain't saying nothing.
The bottom line. They might go in parliament and jump up and lie and go in front of agriculture. You don't give him money, I know they will give it. You go back saying...
And Keto said, somebody had to go in and tell Keto to stop it.
No. The opposition had to move a motion for the removal of the Speaker of the House. If they don't do that, Keto must kick them out next time.
Yes.
Simple. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah.
Yes, you can continue to do that. You can't have a prime minister that is a compulsive liar. You can't do that. Yes, politicians could excite the truth. Yes, sometimes they say things to motivate people. The fewer the men, the greater share of honor. That's when people dying on the battlefield. I imagine how Zizinski and Russia must be trying to motivate the troops now. 1 million people already dead. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
And how are you?
Great, man.
Right. Mr. Pierre, it appears to me, well, first of all, let me say that I support the saying that I don't see the need of a new hospital.
No, not necessarily.
Personally, because we just built the clinic, and the same NDC was about and made attempt to build over the clinic in Gov. After that, we have a new one built in Victoria, and proper renovation in Sotel could bring that one up to speed.
And expand Maribor.
And expand Maribor. Even expand Sotel.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't see the need. And I support you that how much people are going to get here to come for that you see in America.
About teaching us. Doesn't turn brilliance into guinea pig?
I don't see it. Because most of the people that they when they train, they don't even work in Grenada.
United States of America.
Right. So I don't support that. But it appears to me that the government had intended they were quoting with the Public Workers Union to get married to them. But unfortunately, this new president seems to not favor.
That was a keeper that breakup.
Yeah. So they divorce now as far as I think.
Yeah.
Because the plan that I hear that
they say they're married to the teachers.
Yeah. The plan that I hear with the president of the Public Workers Union is saying things that I hearing is that they were far from this thing about making people permanent. They're far from understanding the new arrangement that is being made. They're far from understanding the difference between them and NIS. So to me, there's a far way up to come. But they said that they have succeeded in doing it. So I want to hear this thing, because hearing what teachers is being paid, hearing what nurses is being paid at this present time, I don't think the marriage could take place easy.
Yeah. Yes.
Really and truly, I don't think it could take place easy. A teacher, a police, a lawyer, a doctor, a chief agricultural officers should be properly paid in this country at this point.
Well, people have always used the word properly paid, and I always ask what that means. Because you have to pay based upon ability to pay and sustainable ability to pay.
But to me,
don't expect a doctor in Grenada to be paid what they pay a doctor in America.
No. I'm not comparing America. I'm not comparing the hostile world. I'm not even comparing Trinidad or Jamaica.
So when,
reasonable pay. You can be paying a doctor $2,000, $3,000. I paid a nurse $4,000.
Color. In Grenada, these public officers pays by negotiation. The unions and the government come together to negotiate salary. And the unions are very tough negotiators. So I don't lose, I'm saying that the workers today are better paid than any other time in our history. And they are paid based upon an agreement between the government and the union. So they're supposed to work hard for the money.
But they're complaining now.
Well, everybody want more money. You ever see a man have enough money? Donald Trump want more money. Dangote want more money. Everybody want more money. But this thing about doing as if they want to look for sympathy from the public about pay, forget that. Don't bother with them.
I hear you.
Thank you. Yes, salary in Grenada is negotiated. You have, and once the government sit down and negotiate, and you come up with that bargaining between the union and the government, that is your correct fee. This thing going about you don't properly pay. Who you compare yourself with? You compare yourself with Trinidad? The same thing Mr. Blaze did when he say if you vote unitary state, you're going to get the same pay as Trinidad. You can't do that. You're deceiving with people. Our economy is different. United States have a much bigger economy. Holland and them have very big economies. Some of them are better paid than people in the United States of America. So the pay you get in is relative to your economic situation and circumstances. And you have to be sustainable because you don't want a government cut your pay. That happened in Trinidad. Yep, cola gone. You remember? Barbados. Yep. They challenge it in court and lose. So you don't want that to happen. And the government could charge you tax. During the NDC period, they was charging the workers debt service levy. So we mustn't be fooled. We must discuss the issue. The union was deceived and fooled. And the union should not be fooled because the union knows. The union made sacrifice on 3 occasions and they were well aware that government cannot make everybody permanent. You always have supernumeraries, and sometimes we call them temporary permanent workers. Well, there were provision for that, and I can't remember the term now. It was a common term used by Chester Humphrey and them with the technical and allied workers. Severance pay. There was a term called severance pay. So if they retrench you, I think they pay you 1 month pay for every year you work. Something like that. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I'm late today.
That happens sometimes. You could make runs in the middle.
Activists of the NDC asked me what I mean by saying presently now we need a leader in this nation. And I was explaining to him why we need a leader at this time. He said we have a leader, see? But the way things going, like we're missing something in this country where leadership is concerned. He also told me that Grenadians easy to forget. So they're hoping that most of the dangerous statements our leader made, the Grenadians should forget by the time election comes. This is why up to this morning I called on Real FM and I asked, I said, get hold on to your grips. I call on Sheldon and I say, hold on to your grip with reality of where the present leader is making dangerous statements and activists trying to doubt, including parliamentarians. So this is why I'm advocating that our leader set the tone for division in this country. He also inciting violence in this country. And I would not stop advocate because they want to make sure that Grenadians forget what he have said to the nation. This is not a leader.
Yeah, you're correct.
This is a ruler.
You're correct.
This is why I told him.
Yeah. Thank you, caller.
A leader would not make those kind of statements. I thank you.
Yes, caller, thank you. And you have to remember to cut down the the radio or whatever in the back because you've been listening to it this morning. Normally you just come and flow, but you're hearing this song in the back and you're responding to it. But yes, you're correct. Deacon's leadership is one thing. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
You remember during the last election, I believe the issue was about who is tipping gas and who bottles gas and who this and who that. And the new government said they will have a different system in place for gas. Yeah, up now we don't know the system. Please for
I don't think there is any issue about people collecting gas again, because the government gave them $2,000 and they raised their salary on 300%. So I don't think any minister is going to collect gas free.
Well, do we know that for a fact that the government?
Well, there is nothing about this government to know for a fact. They're lying and they're hiding information. That's the only thing we know that is realistic. The government is a compulsive liars, and they're hiding information.
All right. Now they say that they're going to give, I think, every parliamentarian a brand new vehicle.
Well, there's a greedy group. You say you don't expect. There is no end to greed. You have a greedy group, and every time they show dissatisfaction, you remember when Ron said he got a gracious offer. We thought it was $100,000. He's still in cabinet every time, and some of them smart. Anytime they started to put their foot vex, Deacon had to give them so. Deacon had to try for good relationship. When you see.
So who is going to keep these people accountable? Because the point is that you have people complaining about they can't get an ambulance to go when they're sick. There's no ambulance.
Deacon say when you get a new hospital, you will get ambulance.
Oh, you're telling me buying a brand new vehicle and giving parliamentarians, who's going to buy the gas for that vehicle?
Later on, they're going to give them gas too. You see, he buys loyalty. Remember, he bought a political party, you know, and they advise him to run those old people. So the elderly in the party, they only their own quiet, the cocoa jonah pie, they waiting with the sugar bowl to see if they get something. Because
yeah, but if you look at the war in Ukraine, right, on the front line, then they must have what you call a mobile clinic or underground clinic to take care of the soldiers when they get injured or when they get shot or when they die, whatever. Before they will stabilize them on that point, to carry them to the main hospital perhaps. So our issue down here, not about a new hospital, you know. Our issue is that our clinics around the country don't have equipment. So if we don't have equipment, building a new hospital or a new building, you still don't have equipment. It doesn't make a sense. So the sense part is to put equipment, upgrade your clinics around the country to a standard where they can take care of the people there and major issues they carry on to the hospital. But put up a building and say build a new hospital, you go solve the issue in this country in healthcare. Just paint up in mud, just wasting money basically. You know? So the problem is that fix up the clinic, put equipment there, enough equipment there to deal with the situation in the outer parishes. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's simple. Yes, Scholar, you're correct. That is as simple as that. But this government is good at wasting money. I saw a social media post, the Prime Minister spent $8 million. 8 million in 2 years, while Mia Motley spent 1.7 in 7 years. It means when the Prime Minister spent 4 years, if he continue on that trajectory, then he'll spend 16 million in travel. Remember, one individual run up a hotel bill 30,000 US. And I understand, based upon what we're hearing, that individual have over 600,000 in a bank account. So a lot of things we're hearing here. I don't expect to get answers from the government. The government say information is based upon need to know. And the favorite expression and is that. And they think some people are commoners and classless and beggy. So they know Once they use it, the coffers, they are like parasites on public funds. They are like parasites, pathogenic parasites on the public funds. That is why they flaunt the law of the bank, so that ministers, directors, and other members of the top NDC brand gets loan from the bank. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you out? Try again, caller. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I hear you talk about getting new vehicle. I am happy with that. Keep me go get one. If me pay all the opposition leader go get one for the constituency after. So nothing wrong with that. NDC will get, NMP will get. Who want to get some of that? They lost. Because that's how we got that. The constituency office is to serve the people in the country, in the constituency, and I'm happy for that. I will never condemn that. If they have to buy gas, they have to buy the gas. Because the NDC buying the gas today, they don't have to go to gas stations for gas. They have money to buy the gas and they burn it. So I don't see why you're calling about.
Okay. Caller, stop a while. You say you have to provide information for people. Why we asking these things? Because we hear anybody where the government did not officially provide that information. So that's why we're speaking about. And when we speak about it, the government playing catch-up game to explain. Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Pierre, you have parliamentary representatives. They could explain it for the people too. And if we have a parliamentary representative, they could explain to the people. So you can't contact people that get now a brand new car to service the committee. And they have money gas. They're getting $10,000. People say getting $10,000 every month. Mothers getting $10,000 every month. Did they tell the people that?
They could not getting this money.
They couldn't get it on yet, but you're getting.
Why did it take so long to take it? It took too much longer.
Take too much.
So caller.
They want all your stupid money.
Okay, caller, come on, caller. You can't say all you stupid money. It's not my money. Dikundo getting 1 cent in my money. It's public funds. You can use this language. You can say Grenada money is stupid and Dikundo want it. Don't use this language. I encourage you. Don't use this language. Some of the utterances and expression and language that come from the NDC is extremely divisive. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, as I was saying, I'm calling on the opposition to call a national day of prayer. I don't know how much people realize that the Prime Minister had called out Maurice Bishop again in the convention.
Caller, you know Grenadiers, I wonder if they send the football team in Russia already. You know they had to send a football team in Russia?
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay, we will wait to get some more information on it. Yeah. Well, this government is promoting a sort of left-wing direction. And that's why the Prime Minister was talking about mother hen. Maybe he forget from Maurice Bishop called Eugenia Charles mother hen and Tom Adams yard fowl and Ronald Reagan cowboy. So that is where Dick can get this language that he's using. The revolutionary tongue. I don't know, because they are not really genuine socialists, but they're taking a ride on socialists' back. Yes, caller, welcome.
Today.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking, so nobody can call on the Prime Minister to apologize for the statements he made?
No, the Prime Minister don't have to apologize. The Prime Minister said is that. You hear the Prime Minister, and is that. The Prime Minister beating his chest and want to take on social media badge on. The Prime Minister, and it seems, are the ones that are responsible for the drones that intimidating Jenny Simon. Some people who they find a strong NDC, NNP, they decide not to give them the insurance money for agriculture. This is the government we have. Prime Minister is glad he's saying this thing. And you're looking for the real MDC now. There's not much of them, maybe 2,000-3,000 real MDC. Yes, thank you, caller.
Okay.
Thank you, caller. You have a caller on the line? Right. Yes, so we have to understand when we speak, and people have to look at the trend, look at what is going on. While that is going on, the Prime Minister is sneaking in a new hospital building that likely to cost over $500 million and would take about 10 years to build and retrofit. There is no justification. There is not a necessity. There is no reason for a new hospital building. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. Good
Yes.
afternoon, Target.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, the gentleman that talk about this $10,000, like yourself, the MP, the parliamentary rep is not getting this $10,000 every month. You have to apply for whatever amount, whatever the constituency need. These monies is not to spend on roads and on schools and things like that. It's for constituents and the constituency based on the needs. $10,000 cannot do capital projects in a constituency, right? So if somebody wants glasses, for instance, they have to come with an invoice, and they have to write for it, and then they get it. And then let's say 10 people come one week, and 10 come the next week. How is money sharing?
Caller, this thing
this is my view.
is due for corruption.
Right.
We don't have.
This is my view.
Yes, caller. These things are the door for corruption. What the government is doing is going after the bureaucracy in the public service so they can monitor this little thing. The Prime Minister has opened the door for corruption in Grenada. I think I did a program somewhere on it on Studio Galaxy. This is corruption door. He attacks the bureaucracy in the public service so you can attend to these little things. Somebody wants glasses, you can send a client. They bother with that. They will bother with that. So it's 10 beer they buy, they put glasses. This is corruption though. When the International Monetary Fund and other institute here you spending money, when the people who normally give you aid realize you squandering money, they don't give you, or they want you get it from their people. When Donald Trump decided to suspend U.S. aid for 90 days, I did not disagree with him. I don't see anything progressive about U.S. aid programs. What the government doing is to open corruption door and to enrich the ministers. And after we have made so much sacrifices in the structural adjustment program, and the structural adjustment programs are to bear fruit, we legislate discipline. Richard Duncan once was in charge of FRAC. And now these individuals who help us to make sacrifices to put the economy on a better positive footing. So government could have come and meet over $500 million in the treasury. We're blowing it all out now. It's like one step forward, two steps backward. It's like a seesaw, like a recurring decimal. Yes, caller, welcome.
Sapir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sapir, you talk about it. Right now, the government of Grenada, they have over $200 million in reserve in this country. Over $200 million. Talk about road. What about?
All right, thank you, caller.
Sapir.
You see, that's why I encourage discussion. I really, really encourage discussion. Sometimes I don't take issue with what people say because I realize they have an idea, but what they really need is a discussion to give them explanation. And this is what saddens my heart about this government. This government are making these statements So when the supporters hear it, they take it and come here with it. Or they on the block. And when you explain to them, if they give you the time to explain how these things work, that's why I call sometimes on Richard Duncan to express his opinion on issues. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Mr. Pierre, I could run in parliament. In what capacity did run? Because he's not a minister.
No, he's a member of cabinet. He said, I heard a little of him this morning. He said in cabinet. So guys, to tell you, this government is a bag of lie. We're not telling you NDC does make lie. You think it's joke?
Yes, because actually I look at everything but me and listen that because that way make
no others listen everything. Once I have the time, I listen every word that comes from the mouth. Once I have the time, I don't have the time to do it all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't have the time to that.
Yeah, I know we busy people, so
this is important one.
Yeah, but what he said there is, you see, when the Prime Minister decided to throw out Ron, I did some little research on Ron in school, and I had the opportunity to interview Ron on radio. Ron is no walkover. When the Prime Minister decided to throw him out of cabinet, he negotiated with the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister gave him a gracious offer.
Yes.
Based upon the information I had, that gracious offer was about $100,000. But he still continued to attend cabinet meeting, although he is not a member of cabinet. So the Prime Minister perhaps was forced, because of some private sector interest I heard, to discipline him. So he disciplined him, he paid him, and he keep him. You have to admire Ron. Ron is a powerful negotiator. Didn't have to satisfy and understand a company. So he had to discipline Ron. So he disciplined Ron, he gave him 100,000 I heard, and then he ran back in cabinet. This is
and the one that wearing the real jacket, the one that is biting in hand, he can walk closely.
Yeah, what happened to this one was so shocked. You see, when you put on a lifeguard on you, is a lifeguard? When you put on a lifeguard on you, life jacket. When you put on a life jacket when you prepare to save.
Yeah.
And I think every now and then this one will remember. He jump up with a life jacket. So when you see the corruption that's going on in Lotto, I understand it's shocking.
Well, of course he's shocked. He was shocked.
Imagine he write a letter and fire the boss in Lotto. They fire him instead. That's why I call him Richard Duncan.
Yes.
He was in charge of frack.
Yes.
And these men know, they know the sacrifice Grenada has made. They know the tears, the sweat, the sacrifice that we made to bring in the structural adjustment program.
He wrote the book, The Straight and Narrow.
Yeah, and I quote it from my brother relentlessly. Challenging workers, walk the straight and narrow.
Yes.
When you walk the street, the ground must tremble under your foot. When you walk the street, you must fear no one. I always encourage public officer, go where they plant you. And Richard Duncan, I quote him, walk the straight and narrow.
Walk the straight and narrow.
So right now I want Richard Duncan go into MIT and Lotto and advise Deaton. I'll give you maybe a month or two. Then I'll call you and ask back for your result. You can't continue to do that. They think they are your God.
Yeah, of course, they think so. They think it's so jackass just go where they go in.
Yeah, my brother.
All right.
It's always good to hear your voice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. You see, we have to comment. You have some men in this country, they know the sacrifice we made. In any country, when you have to be forced to go to call the International Monetary Fund, you don't call the IMF. Grenada legislate discipline. So how all these men who contributed to the structural adjustment program could come back now and rip off the structural adjustment program? That's what you're doing. I listen to people talk about Cuba. I celebrated Cuba to apologize to the people. both Cuba and Venezuela, have to apologize to the people for the sacrifice their people make so Cuba could reach out and help other countries. And I always speak about Cuba in glowing period because Cuba indeed helped other countries. But at what price to the people? Their people shed their blood, their tears, and their sweat for that assistance that you receive. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Ron was on GBN this morning, reaching the government and the budget.
Yeah, that is we pick up a little bit of him when he says a member of cabinet.
So he's not a member of the cabinet, but he's a member of the government.
No, he's a member of cabinet too. There's good cabinet meeting. He's not a member. Maybe he's ex officio because of the gracious of.
I didn't follow him. Right, so he goes to cabinet.
Yes, it's part. That's a part of the. We only heard about the 100,000, but we didn't hear that he continued to be attend cabinet although not a member of cabinet.
Well, no. This one have me shocked.
Well, you could have me shocked. I tell you, these people, you don't believe me when I'm speaking. You don't see how I dare them to take me on. I tell you, they just plan lies. So it appears that Ron had to be disciplined because of some company's interests. That is what we hear on the ground. And when we ask them, they're not giving us information. So they discipline Ron, and Ron is a strong negotiator.
No, I left him talking and I went down in the council.
No.
I wasn't aware that one shocked me.
But don't get you go get a heart attack. You listen to Real FM. We preach truth here. When we say things tobacco, well pressed.
No, that one.
No shot. Yes, caller. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Good shot. All the time you're calling here, we give you information. Why do you think they want to close down radio station and jail people and hang people in the street? Why do you think they're calling on their friends and companies and NDC to boycott Real FM? Why do you think they're doing that? So individuals who strongly support NDC, they say boycott Real FM. I used to go in a rum shop every day and drink. A woman say, I can't stand him. But a woman say, well, how you could say that? The man does spend money like rain when he come here. So I pretend I didn't hear, but I started drinking soda water in the shop now. I hold up on alcohol. I still go in the shop. I'm going in for about a whole year again before. But when I go there, I just spend money like rain again. I drinking man soda water. I see no in the shop. She says she can't stand simply because she is a militant NDC. A lot of them have been radicalized. I see my brother Blash from Ticolo. He kicking up on radio, kicking up. He attacking left, right, and center. He's saying things you don't know, but he's saying it still. I admire him. He forgot to say, he don't remember to say, one individual get 9,000 and the fella planning to have land, The guy don't have land yet, You get money planning to have land. And we come to the end of the program fast. That's what happens sometimes. But we want to encourage people to discuss the issue because we believe there is absolutely no need for a new hospital. The government is reckless, incompetent, and the Prime Minister is just a glad boy. There is no need for a new hospital, and we encourage discussion on it. Thank you very much.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.